What's good, y'all? This is Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where y'all know I always keep it real. So Tim Tebow signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, when we heard the reports that he was getting a workout with that Urban Meyer gave Tim Tebow a workout, I knew that it was inevitable that he was going to get the job. I mean, Urban Meyer, that was Tim Tebow's coach at Florida. I mean, we knew that if he was going to give him a workout, he was most likely going to have him on the team. I mean, why would he work him out just to not have him on the team? Now, some people have said that this is an example of white privilege, but it's not. Let's just be honest. I'm sorry. I'm the number one guy that's going to be like, you know what? This is white privilege or whatever, but in this situation, it's not, because he's only being signed as a tight end. So if he was signed as a quarterback, I'd be like, come on now. We already know how that road went. We already know how that road went. I mean, this guy's 35. When he was in the NFL, he ain't do nothing, bro. He did nothing. He had that one good season, or that one good season with the Broncos when he went 7-4 and won that playoff game that Skip Bayless loves to point out. But aside from that, he was a total bust. He was a great college player, but it did not translate to the NFL, right? So the fact that he's coming to the NFL as a tight end, I can't necessarily say that this is white privilege, because Urban Meyer is the only person that gave him a job. If he went to like the Washington football team or the Eagles and he signed as a quarterback or as a tight end, I could be like, okay, but we can clearly see that Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer have a great connection, and he was doing his guy a solid. And Urban Meyer is doing this. He signed the other guy, the guy that was the strength and conditioning coach at, was it Utah? It was some school. But the guy had racial issues, and Urban Meyer still signed this guy. So I'm like, what's the message he's trying to, give out in his first season in the National Football League? I think he still thinks that this is college, and it's not college. He better learn that quick. At the NFL, when you have grown men with families and all of that, got full beards, they're grown men, 30-some years old, whatever years old. It's not college. So you can't just do whatever you want in the NFL like you did in college sports or in college football. That's not how it works in Meyer. So if Tim Tebow, if he ends up being terrible, you gotta cut him. I know that's your guy, but you have got to cut him, because you will lose the locker room. There's already been reports that guys in your locker room are like looking at Tebow or looking at this signing sideways, like, because how they're probably looking at it is like, I have either former teammates or friends that are tight ends or that are trying to fight their way into this league, and you let this guy Tim Tebow, who has been out of football for 6 years, he hasn't played a regular season game in 9 years, and you let this guy switch positions from quarterback to tight end and come on this team at 33 years old. A lot of guys, it's a blessing to be in this league, to be in the NFL at 33 years old. All the wear and tear all the wear and tear it puts on your body. But this guy who went and played baseball, for God's sake, they're gonna look at him sideways, because they're gonna be like, you didn't really earn this. You just got it because Urban Meyer is your guy, right? So you already have that. So if he does not perform well, you have got to cut him, or else the locker room will lose Urban Meyer, and he'll end up losing the team, and you can't come back from that. We saw that with the Eagles. No matter how good your coach is, like Doug Peterson, if you lose the locker room, there's no coming back, and you gotta get fired, right? Another thing, right? It doesn't make any sense to do this unless it's for the media attention. So unless he's thinking, you know what, unless Urban Meyer, I mean, obviously he wants to do Tim Tebow a solid, but I only see the Jacksonville Jaguars owner agreeing to this is because of the media attention it will bring by signing Tim Tebow. I mean, who talks about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Nobody does, except for draft day when they drafted Trevor Lawrence. other than that, they don't talk about Jacksonville. But now the media is always talking about Jacksonville because of Tim Tebow and what that could bring to the team, or just why Tim Tebow, right? Why Tim Tebow? They don't talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars all the time, right? So that's a plus for them. So how the owner's probably feeling is like, well, any type of attention is good attention because that puts money in his pocket, right? So that's probably another reason why the owner signed off on this, because of the media attention. But other than that, the teammates aren't going to respect Tebow because he hasn't earned this, right? It's not like he's going to have these rah-rah speeches like, let's go guys, let's get this win. He's not going to be having those speeches because he's usually like a third string tight end. I mean, what football players are going to be looking at this guy as a third string tight end to lead speeches or to be a leader on this team? Heck no. Nobody's going to be looking at Tim Tebow to galvanize the troops, be a leader on this team. Nobody's thinking about that, right? So the fact that the teammates don't respect him, what influence will he have in that locker room that will be beneficial to the team? I just don't see that. And especially if he plays bad, it's going to be a bad John, bro. It's going to be a bad John. Now, look, if Trevor Lawrence has growing pains, it's going to also be a bad look. Because, look, you're a rookie quarterback. So no matter how good you are, you're going to have growing pains, right? You're going to have growing pains. It's a hard transition from college football to the NFL, right? So with Trevor Lawrence, if he has one game where he throws 3 picks and they lose, or a couple games where he hasn't played well, it'll be these crazy Tebow fans that will be like, put Tebow in. Heck no, don't do that. But why would you even put your quarterback in that situation? We already have people thinking that Urban Meyer wants Tim Tebow to be the backup quarterback, and him being the quote unquote third string tight end is like a wink. Like he's really going to be a backup quarterback. So you want to have that controversy. Obviously, he's not going to be a quarterback, anything like that. At least I don't think so. I hope that doesn't happen. But you just don't want to even have that thought out there in the media, because the media will come up with anything, or just come up with any story to try and stir up controversy and all that. So I don't know if that's totally beneficial for your rookie quarterback to go through with Trevor Lawrence. And flipping this to Kaepernick, this is not the same thing as Kaepernick because Tim Tebow wasn't signed as a quarterback, right? He wasn't signed as a quarterback, and again, he has a connection between him and Urban Meyer. Again, if he got signed by anybody else besides Jacksonville, I'll be the first person saying the NFL needs to bring Kaepernick. I mean, I still feel that way, but it would have been more of an indictment on the NFL blackball Kaepernick than now, because at least Tim Tebow has a connection with Urban Meyer, right? If he got signed by anybody else, I'd be like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, how you sign this guy and not Cap, right? If he was a quarterback, he's a tight end. Obviously, Kaepernick wasn't willing to change his position. He's a quarterback, right? So Tim Tebow, he wants to change his position, which he probably should have done 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, when he was actually in the NFL, and not 6 years or not almost a decade since he's been a starter in this league, right? They was already telling them that back in the day. Now he wants to change that. So that's why it's not comparable to Kaepernick. I see people and players trying to compare the two. I like what Devin Bush said on the Steelers. He said Tebow got a job before Cap. Wait till we play Jacksonville. That's also going to have a target on his back in Jacksonville, because regardless of if they're totally comparable, those two situations, it's still going to be like, you know what? You're in the NFL and Kaepernick is not. So, we're going to take it out on you, whether you like it or not. So that's going to be a fun. I know teams are going to be at Tebow's neck, like it or not, but it's going to be fun to see this next season. But let me know what you think. Was it a good move by Jacksonville to sign Tim Tebow? Was it beneficial for the team? All of that. Are you a fan of this move? I'm not, but I can see why Urban Meyer and why he did that move. But in terms of it being a good move for the team, I just don't see that. But with that being said, y'all, I'm out.